we continue to count the days of the Omer, moving towards Shavuos very soon, a very important message comes to mind. A message I learned from Ruth the Moabite, Ruth the convert, who joins Judaism with tremendous Mesiras Nefesh, self-sacrifice of her own accord. And I learned this from Rabbi Miller in Gateshead. He said that the Medrash quotes the words that Ruth uses to join Judaism. She says to Naomi, "Don't implore me to leave you. I'm coming with you no matter what. Ba'asher telchi elech," the famous lines. Where you go, I will go. Where you sleep, I will sleep. Your God is my God. Your nation is my nation, etc. The Medrash points out that in saying each of these phrases, she wasn't just waxing lyrical. She wasn't being poetic. She hadn't planned these words. You can plan a speech. You can write a poem with much thought and emotion. But this was at the spur of the moment, off the top of her head. It burst forth from her innermost self as Naomi says, "Please go. What are you doing? Look after yourself. You don't have to come with me." And she says, "No, I'm coming with you. It doesn't matter what you say." And then she expresses these phrases. Says the Medrash, her choice of words is very significant. Look at the words she uses. Where you go, I will go. What did she mean? Where you sleep, I will sleep. She could have just said, "No, don't implore me to leave you. I'm coming with you." But everything she used has great significance. Every phrase she used has great significance. One of the first phrase, says the Medrash, "Where you go, I will go," means I will not walk past a certain distance on Shabbos. Where you sleep, I will sleep means I will not sleep where I'm not supposed to. I will adhere to the strict laws of yichud, of seclusion, with a man who I'm not related to. Your nation is my nation. I will keep the 613 mitzvot, the commandments. Your God is my God. I will not worship idols, etc. So the Medrash says, why did she use these words? When she said, "Where you go, I will go," what she meant is, I will not walk where I'm not supposed to walk. When she said, "Where you sleep, I will sleep," means I will not sleep where I'm not supposed to sleep. Yet she phrases her words in the positive. The Medrash continues, "Lefikach," therefore, "Zachta v'yatza mimena David," from her came King David, "Sheriva lakadosh baruch hu b'shiras v'tishbachos," who satiated Hashem with songs and praise. What does this mean? What does it mean? And why it says he comes from her? It doesn't mean she got lucky. She was such a good girl. She scored so many points. Hashem rewarded her. From her came David. No, it means she laid the foundations of who King David was. It says that who was King David? One of the greatest aspects of himself was when he says, "Ani avdecha ben amasecha." I am your servant. What makes me your servant? That I'm the son, I'm the great grandson, I'm the descendant of your maidservant. Who's your maidservant? Ruth. He says, what makes me who I am? That I come from her. She laid down the spiritual genetics of who King David became. And he says the Medrash, who came from her, King David, that satiated Hashem with songs and praise. Says the Medrash, explained Rabbi Miller, you know what this means? It means that everything that she was saying was expressing, I will not do. Yet she phrased it in the positive. I will not walk past a certain distance on Shabbos. She said, where you go, I will go. I will not sleep where I'm not supposed to sleep. She expressed, where you sleep, I will sleep, etc. Said Rabbi Miller, this was the expression of her soul. This was the expression of her thinking. When she said, I will not go where I'm not supposed to go, she didn't see restriction. She saw refinement. She saw the glorious beauty, the refinement and the joy that was latent in all the mitzvahs of the Torah. She didn't feel restricted and constrained. She said, this is my key to freedom. This is my key to greatest liberation. The little pieces that you put into place, all the things that you might think are constraints of don't do's, are really refinements. That you can see them as constraining restrictions, or you can see them as an invitation to grow, to meet challenges with nobility, to see yourself being able to rise to the occasion and come through it. Says the Medrash, and that's why King David came from her. You know who King David was? He satiated Hashem with songs and praise. Do you know what this means? King David endured every experience a human being can endure. Chazal say, Liboy Leiv Kol Yisrael. His heart is the heart of the entire Jewish people. He experienced the full spectrum, the full range of human experience. He suffered terribly. He experienced trauma, tragedy, pain, challenge, struggle, as well as the highest of the highs. And throughout all his life, King David sings to Hashem. Mizmor LeDavid, a song from King David. Shir Mizmor LeDavid, a song, right? Bursting from Lam Natzeach, to the conductor of the symphony of my orchestra of my life, says King David. Where did he get the strength from? How could he sing through all his experiences? Yet the Medrash says this is how. From Ruth, who saw the half full, she saw the beauty, she saw the joy, she saw the refinement, and those were the foundations that she laid down in a King David, who could go through his life singing to Hashem. May we embrace these few days left to Shavuos in understanding that it's the pieces, when you put them together, they build the tapestry. You can't see in the here and now what it's building. You can't see in the here and now why it's important. But you can see that the plink and the plink and the plink and the plonk create the music that is so much more than the sum of the parts. The restrictions and the confines of practicing something until you make it perfect doesn't restrain your soul, but rather liberates you on the deepest level. Like we see in music, like we see in science, every little piece of anatomy, of your body, of the world, has to be exactly where it needs to be to function properly. One little atom is out of place and you have an atom bomb. All the details are important, and they're not constricting and confining. They're liberating and releasing.